Welcome back here on your Thursday morning. If you're planning on being outdoors, it's starting to heat back up a little bit, but really a nice day. The humidity shouldn't be quite as bad out there this afternoon. We top out in the mid 80s here in central Nebraska, but you know, the heat, the humidity, it is going to start to return over the next couple of days, and we are going to settle into a very typical summer pattern. This is Monday at 5 o'clock. You can see this upper level ridge that has really built into the Midwest, and it's going to allow for kind of a hot, muggy, but mainly dry stretch of weather. As of right now, it really doesn't appear that we have any significant rain chances for much of our viewing area. This little guy here, that's the remnants of what's expected to be a hurricane that will be moving through Louisiana over the next couple of days. But for us, we obviously do not need any more rain. And hopefully the next 7 days we can shut things off and try to dry things out as those flood warnings continue in so many areas. We start the day in the 50s and 60s. We're going to end up in the 80s with a chance of some low 90s out here in the western part of the state. Panhandle could make it into the upper 90s, but for a lot of us, you know, maybe just slightly below normal in central areas, but out west it will be a touch on the warm side, but it's going to be quiet. And that's really what's important right now. We're expecting all sunshine today, even into tonight. We shouldn't see any activity. Your Futurecast tries to get a little bit going here tomorrow morning up to the north. I am not overly convinced we see that happen. We get into our Friday, it's going to be a little muggy off to the east. It's going to be a little hot out to the west. If you've lived in this part of the country long enough, yeah, you know that's usually how it works when we get into July. 85 the high today, much needed break from the rainfall. We'll drop to 65 tonight and should just heat up a little bit more as we get into our Friday with a high of around 90. Could see a slight chance of storms Friday night, mainly up in the northern part of the state. We'll be looking at mid 80s to low 90s this afternoon. As we head into tonight, we'll drop down into the mid 60s and start to creep up even more as we get into our Friday. Not too bad of a way to end the week, though, considering how we started the week. We're looking at low 90s, maybe some mid 90s out there to the west, and that really could begin a stretch of weather where we stay in the 90s all the way into next week. So this is going to be probably the longest stretch of 90s that we've had so far this summer. And again, the rain chances, you know, they're really looking pretty hit or miss here in central Nebraska. Right now it looks to mainly impact the northern part of the state. So hopefully we can dry things out.
Just in time for our first live Fridays at the fair.
Yeah, why wouldn't it?
Really heat it up.
Why wouldn't we?